we're not really flashy. I'm flashy.
Well, yeah, and that orange you are. Now you put that there.
Okay.
See if you can get both of us.
Okay, so we're going to go like this.
Yeah, there we are.
Hey, everybody. How ya doing? I'm Mary C. Anderson, and this is...
Nancy, also called Mary sometimes, Bergman. Lately there's been confusion, but actually there's only one Mary. But she might be AI too, we're not sure.
No, if I jerk, then you know I'm AI. Or if I make that sound that goes beep, 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 beep.
Yep, that's it. Anyway, this is part 2 of our program on ghosts and graveyards. Now, if you missed the first program, first we went up to Montana Ridge and we talked about Lavender Lily. And then we went looking for a new ghost up by Osseo.
Yes.
And we went looking at the field where in 1938 there had been a terrible murder suicide.
Yeah, it was a mess. But we did also find the headstone of the young woman who was one of the 2 victims in this particular tragic event.
Yeah, we found Dorothy Metcalf's stone. But today we are going up to the Elk Creek Lutheran Church because we have found that Benny Christensen, the fellow that was in this murder-suicide with her, is actually buried up here. And the sexton, Alan Rongstead, is going to meet us. And so maybe we're going to find out about this really horrific event. And that there was a rumor that there was a haunted field up by Osseo. And we think that if it's haunted, it's probably by this Christensen and Metcalf. So
one of the 2 or both.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to hear the second half.
Yeah, the rest of the story.
Yes, the rest of the story.
All right, we're going to motor up the hill here, and we are going to be meeting with Alan Rongstead.
Very
who
good.
Says he's a fan of our shows. Isn't
Yay,
that nice?
He's a fan.
So, as you can see, Mary is dressed for deer hunting.
I want to be seen when I'm outside during this time of the year.
What a beautiful sight. Look at it down there. There is just...
It's a beautiful spot for
Isn't
a
it?
church.
This is just a really pretty place. You know, those old Lutherans, they like to put their churches up on top of hills.
What a beautiful overlook.
Yeah, and I think the reason they probably did it that way in Norway, and they probably did it so that everybody could see the church and hear the bells, and you could see people coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't start church till everybody's there.
So this is Hale, and Benny Christensen.
We're in the town of Hale.
Town of Hale, yes. This Benny Christensen, that was part of this murder-suicide, his family lived up on Holman Road, which is just north of here. And, but this is, on the death certificate for him, it just said that he was buried at Hale. Well, where?
There's a number of cemeteries in the township of Hale.
Right. So I contacted Lynn Kinchy Nelson, and you probably know, people know Lynn from when she worked at USDA. She was the CRP person. And she contacted Alan, and so we found, she said that this is also called Hale Cemetery up here. And we did, he's buried here, so we're going to talk to Alan. So, as I said, we're high up on the hill here at Elk Creek Lutheran Church.
Elk Creek Lutheran Church, yeah.
And this is the sexton, Alan Rongstead, who's been nice enough to come out and meet us. And he's going to show us where Benny Christensen was buried. And like we said, that's the other part of the story here. We found where the girlfriend or whatever was buried, but we didn't know where he was. So So, and this is this part of the cemetery, public cemetery, or is it all?
Yes,
it is.
yes, yeah. It's
Okay.
it's not open, or it's not just for the
For the members.
church. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, lead on. Where do we go?
Just down through here and to the left.
Okay. Because on the old plat books, it said that Benny's father and siblings were up here on Holman Road.
Okay.
That was a Christensen farm.
Uh-huh.
And I assume that's where he was living too. There wasn't any other address for him.
Sure.
But, you know, 1938, there aren't a lot of people that remember things like this.
Right.
So,
And he's buried on, I think it would be his grandfather's lot.
oh, okay,
Ole Christensen.
okay.
And then there's a Charles,
Yeah, that was his dad.
and that was his dad, I assume.
that-
Yes.
According to the plat books that I looked
Uh-huh.
at. Yeah. So I can imagine it was such a horrific event. I can't imagine how people dealt with it. It must have been terrible.
Yes.
And if you did not, if our viewers did not watch part one of this show, it was in the middle of January 1938 that a passerby up there driving in section 6 of the town of Sumner,
Uh-huh.
they saw a car out in the field. And it was a snowy day, and it was on fire. I mean, it was burning bad. It was a big hot fire. They couldn't get close to it for a long time. And when it finally burned down enough, they realized that there had been people in this car, but they were just charred beyond recognition. And they got the sheriff out there, Sheriff Brom, and the coroner, and they still couldn't figure out. It didn't look like there'd been an accident. I mean, the
Sure.
car hadn't turned over, it wasn't banged up. It was just like it'd been driven out into the to the field and stopped. And so they weren't even sure who the occupants were. There were 2 bodies, but they were in pretty bad shape. But they finally figured it out, and it was Benny Christensen, who was 35 years old, and he was a milk hauler. And this 17-year-old girl from Osseo called Dorothy Metcalf. And like I said, the newspapers back then were really unreliable. They made up stories and information just to sell papers. But apparently Benny and Dorothy, that said, had been keeping company for a year, which got really, you know, nasty because he was married. He had a wife. And supposedly Dorothy had decided that she did not want to go out with him anymore or whatever. And he was giving her a ride to her sister. She was living with her sister. And they were kind of up in section 6 there. And they said it looked like what had happened is that he had shot her. And then he had a can of gas, a large can of gas. He poured it all over her. He poured it all around the car. He poured it over himself, and then he shot himself. And it was pretty terrible, if you can imagine.
Wow. Yeah.
A terrible event. And that's about all the information we have. And the story that got us up there was that there was the claim that there was a haunted field up there north of Osseo. And we figured out maybe that's what the basis of the story was, although nobody remembers anything about it. It was quite a while ago.
Sure.
Well,
That was right on the corner there by Greg Laguerre.
I guess so.
Or just past there
Yeah.
towards Eau Claire.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, it was on, now it's 53 that goes by there, yeah. So now you're going to show us where Benny was actually buried, because at first I couldn't find anything, and it just said on the death certificate that he had been buried in Hale. Well, that doesn't really narrow it down very much. And this, when did this church start? Do you know?
Well, it
Oh,
was 1877.
oh, it's an old one.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
cemetery actually started in 1876, or before. The first burial here is 1861.
Okay, so it's really an old
There's
cemetery.
yeah.
Wow. And this is Benny. Benny
And
O.
that's Benny,
Yeah.
and then that's Charles.
That's his father. Yeah.
And then in my sexton book here, then Ole and his wife are also buried here. But I assume that that might be their, just a little marker here.
Oh, this the small
Because this would be the lot area in this area here.
Okay. This is the Christensen
Yep,
lot.
yep,
Yeah, okay.
yep.
And then who is this stone for? Or can we read it? Is it?
Well, that would be,
That's a Christensen, yeah.
I'm not sure
Is that a lady's name? Looks
if
like
that was
Coney.
if that was Ole's wife.
Lisa Christensen. Huh. And she had.
Yeah, see, my book just says Ole and Mrs. Ole,
Okay. Okay.
but
That would be Connie.
it would be, and then Charles, and his wife is here, but she has never been,
They don't. Her name isn't on there.
it isn't on the stone.
Okay. But this, they think, would have been Charles's father or mother.
Well, this I would think would be his mother then, because like I say, it doesn't give her name. It just is just Mrs. Ole.
Ole Christensen. And Ole was the father of Charles?
Right.
Okay, all right.
That's what I understand.
Okay.
And like I say, I think
This would be his mother?
No,
this would be Benny's grandmother then.
grandmother, yeah. Okay. Okay. And this right here was the Christensen
this is-
plot. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Clarence Thompson's gravesite right
Okay.
there.
And that was the one that you said had taken care of the cemetery here forever and ever.
And I can remember when they got this lot right here, and I remember him saying something about Benny,
Oh yeah?
but I don't remember. I'm thinking that, I was thinking at that time that Benny was buried here
Okay.
instead of over there, because this is the alley.
Sure.
The lot goes from here to here, and then there's a 4-foot alley.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. Yeah, it's you know, it's a really sad story.
Oh,
It's
yes.
terrible.
Yes.
It's not the kind of thing that normally happened
Yeah.
around here. And I can imagine people must have just didn't know what to think
Oh,
about
yes.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It must have been just horrendous for them and for the family. Huh.
Have you ever seen anything spooky out here?
Oh no, but my wife and I used to mow cemetery, and I did a lot of work up here. You know, it was getting
Yeah.
late, but it was. I remember the first time that somebody had these solar lights on, you know,
Yeah.
and I was up here one evening after dark, and all of a sudden, this light come on.
That would make it
Well,
jump.
you know, I'm in the cemetery.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that would have made me jump.
But it's a very peaceful place.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Yes, yes.
And Mary and I were just noting. You said Norwegians like to put their churches up on top of the hill.
Yes,
didn't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you have a big congregation here? Medium size?
Like
or?
230, 40, I
That's
don't
pretty
know.
good these days.
We've been getting a lot of new members, and we have lots of kids.
Good.
We have, for a country church,
That's wonderful.
we're very blessed to have a lot of young people and
Yeah, that's what you need to keep
lots
the church
of people.
going.
Yeah, lots of kids.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now, as we were walking out, I noticed some tombstones are facing east and some are facing west. Is there a rhyme or reason beyond that, behind it?
Well, this is the old part of the cemetery. This
Okay.
is what was developed first, and then the bodies would be laying this way, facing east.
Right.
But then on that end, then it seems like then they're facing this way.
They couldn't make up their mind.
Well, because that was the middle of the cemetery.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason of it, but
Well, they used to say that they wanted to bury them facing east.
oh yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
that
And they
was
still
important.
do that.
Yeah.
But see, a lot of these, well, you'll see a lot of these sites have a large stone, and then there'll be small footstones, where the big stone would be the family name, and then the small ones would be placed at
Members,
the feet
yeah.
of the burial.
Yeah. So, a stone like this small one over here, that was, I've seen these in other cemeteries too. So were they just a marker, or was there, you know, they couldn't afford anything bigger?
I don't really know. I think there's others like this that are engraved, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that maybe was engraved a little and it doesn't show.
Yeah, yeah, that could be. Because I go to Foggerness Church, and we just
Okay.
had, a couple years ago we had a cemetery walk where we just really cleaned everything up and put out information. And so it was interesting because some families apparently just could not afford
Yeah.
more than that. Or maybe it was temporary, but they never got around to putting out a bigger one.
And there were more of those here. There were some that just had like a metal plaque kind of
yeah.
that was there, and
Yeah,
some of those have been replaced.
it's a big job, isn't
Well, it is, yeah, yeah.
it? Do you ever get the problem with tombstones, you know, heaving
Oh, yes.
over the winter? And
A lot of that,
yeah,
especially these. Some of these larger pedestal type
Yeah.
ones, you know, and we've put bases under some of them, and
Yeah.
some of the family would get together and
right. Because sometimes they just kind of start sinking into
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to get a pedestal under them. It's a big job.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is. It's a huge
Yeah.
job.
And now, is this the original church?
No, the original church burned in, what was that, 1915?
Oh, okay.
Like that, yeah.
Because I see
Struck
this
by
one
lightning.
was
Yeah.
built in 1917. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So they did rebuild
yeah,
in brick.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the old one was pretty much, well, if I remember pictures, that was pretty much all wood, you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, most things were there
They
until
were,
the turn of the
yeah,
century. Yeah.
yeah.
And burning down, that was pretty common,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But when everything was built out of wood and
Yeah.
you were burning wood
yeah,
or coal, that's what
yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Because I remember as a kid when they still had the wood furnace in the basement,
Yeah.
or in a.
Was it one of those great big old ones?
Oh yeah, and then there was a big grate in the floor where the heat would come up.
Sure.
And the organist at that time, the organ was kind of right over that grate, so she could stay warm.
Sure. Well, that's good. I would imagine too that it would, the heat would probably make a difference how well the organ played.
Oh sure,
Right? You know,
sure.
that would have affected that, or
Yeah.
a piano or whatever. They used to say about Foggerness that their first church, they knew how cold it was outside by how many coats the minister had on inside. So,
Well, a funny story about the organist was the janitor at that time, and she didn't get along very well. And she always complained because it was so cold in there. So, and she always wore her big coat when she was playing the organ. And one day he come up here and he said, "I'm going to get her to take her coat off today," he said. And I guess he really stoked the furnace
He did.
up. I don't know if she took it off or not.
Well, that's part of life in Wisconsin, isn't it? Just trying to stay warm sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate this. This is real interesting. Mary has another question there.
I do. Now, have renovations been done? Have additions been added to the church
Oh, yeah.
structure?
This front part here, this brick front part, was built on, and that's a Sunday school addition. So there's rooms upstairs and downstairs. And
Do you have your own parsonage?
we do, but our pastor has his own place.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the parsonage is right next door over there.
And do you have your own minister, or do you share?
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
do?
we have it. We share it with Strum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do whatever you have to these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So sometime we'd like to come up here again. And I've heard that your altar has some special carvings or something
Yes.
on it that
Yes.
is kind of unique.
Yep.
That'd be fun to go up and
Yeah.
look at that. Very definitely.
Yeah.
We could do that any time of year. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
it's snowing or hot.
Last year we had a group from Norway that stopped in
Really?
here and went through here. Yeah.
Were a lot of these people the original ancestors? Do you know what part of Norway they came
Oh
from?
golly, no, different parts.
Okay.
My grandparents came from it's called Stanga. I'm not even sure which we're about in Norway it was, but I know it was Stanga.
Okay.
It's spelled like strange,
Okay.
but it's Stanga.
And have you ever been to Norway?
No, I haven't. I've got cousins that have, but not me.
It'd be interesting to see.
Well, I
wouldn't it?
would, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seen
see-
a lot of pictures, and
Sure.
you know when they've been there.
It's interesting, and well, I appreciate you meeting us and showing us where
Yes,
Betty
well,
was buried, because
glad
I
to
felt
do
like
that.
that was only half of the story.
Yeah.
We found Dorothy's tombstone up there at the Osseo Public Cemetery, and wasn't really sure where many had been buried. And you can't find much about this whole affair in the old local newspapers. I think they just did not even want to discuss it. It was just too lurid and
Yeah.
too terrible, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a paper in Osseo at that time or not.
I think there was,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just pretty awful, and so maybe that's the basis of a ghost story from a haunted field. But you haven't seen anything around here.
No, no,
Okay.
nothing that I would say.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate
Well, you're
you
welcome.
coming out here to meet us today. Yeah, it was, like I say, I talked to a bunch of people, nobody remembered anything about this, so, yeah.
Well, I like I say, Clarence,
He would have known, probably.
he would have said, and he maybe talked about it
Yeah.
or said some things about it that I've forgotten.
Well, it must have been pretty awful for that family, the Christiansons, you know, that was...
Oh yeah,
You just don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Had they been going together for a long time? Did the wife know about it and not
Sure.
care or what? But she was the informant on the death certificate.
huh?
So if she cared enough to do that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's in here somewhere that it's a baby that died in 1861.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would have been a long time ago. And what we had a lot of in our cemetery are children that died in 1888 and 89 because they had a bad diphtheria.
Oh yeah,
A terrible epidemic.
yeah.
And it took so many children. It was awful.
And then in the early 1900s too, there's a lot of babies and children that are buried here too.
You think from the Spanish flu?
Well, I don't know. There was something, yeah.
That actually, that Spanish flu, that was right around World War I, around 1918. Actually, that took a lot of young people because it said that young people that, you know, were healthy and that this flu just really attacked them. And the people, their immune system kind of overcompensated and killed them. There was a lot of people that died from that. Yeah, here's another 88.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't just children.
Yeah. No, I got my book along, and there's a lot of infants here, and there's a lot of infants buried that aren't, that don't even have a stone.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure that they maybe just couldn't even afford it.
Yeah.
But most of these stones are pretty readable. They're in good shape.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they?
Well, I generally try to do a few every year and clean them up with my pressure washer.
Oh, okay.
Although these you got to be a little careful with because these white stones are a little bit soft.
Yeah.